Nation. In the USA, 112,000 people lost their life in the year 2023 due to a form of drug overdose.
Joined Oregon decriminalizing user amounts
of hard drugs.
By watching, I not only hope to spread awareness,
there have been at least 18 overdoses in Chesterfield this month alone,
but prevent others from meeting the same fate. Y'all be safe.
Charged her for the death of her daughter. The 2-year-old girl died from a fentanyl overdose. Call me, D.
So it's 2 p.m. in the afternoon, and 22-year-old Fresh is playing basketball with his friends. Fresh, being one of the best on the court, just won his 3rd game in a row, playing for $100 each. Now, he told his people he gonna get up with him later, while one of his best friends, Jay, begged him to play again. He trying to get some of that money he just lost.
Man, you know that boy got in his shoe? He like Mike for real.
Fresh turned it down, saying he got a big game coming up. He need all the money he could bring. And Jay asked him what game was that, because there isn't any games coming up on the schedule. They play for a rec league in the neighborhood. Not that type of game, man. Saying that he's going to Vegas for the weekend and win some extra cash. And Jay thought that maybe he had some debts. He had to help pay for the rent. Something going on financially, so he asked him like, hey, why you ain't just ask me? You know I got it. Why spend more to make more when you could just come to your friend? Fresh not wanting to explain it, he said he just wanted to have fun, unplug, and be in a different atmosphere instead of the badlands of Philly. Jay understood it and asked why not bring the whole gang.
You really finna fly out by yourself?
Fresh hesitated, but agreed, saying it actually would be fun to have his boys there. So it's settled. His friends Jay, Bleak, and Nicole were all gonna accompany Fresh on his little road trip. All 4 grew up in the same neighborhood under the same circumstances, so they was always tight for cash most days. But after the previous pandemic, with COVID, they all had a good amounts of money stacked up. Jay, most of all, being the only one who applied for the PPP loan against his friend's advice to not do it. Jay felt that their lives had a 50-50 chance of being snatched just walking out of the front door every day. So why not live while you here? And Fresh always thought that was a reckless way of thinking, so he never indulged in a response. Bleak had a good job and also saved most of his earnings, so it was always extra money for the taking in his mind. And Nicole, being the only girl and the youngest, spent a lot of her time watching and learning every move of her friends, who she looked at as her older brothers, but mostly attached herself to Fresh, calling him the cool brother, and they all looked at her as a little sister. Now, after leaving the court, Jay paid a visit to one of his homeboys named Kevin. Now, Kevin was a young guy he grew up with, along with the rest of the gang, but they would eventually stray away when he started hustling. Time would go on, and it didn't take long for him to start using while he was hustling. Anything from weed to food. He had no discrimination towards his way of escaping his life. Fresh, he never fooled with him. Even before he changed, he used to say he gave off a bad vibe whenever he would show up. The others showed pity because of his hard life, and they got burned every single time. Jay knocked on his door, or what was left of it, having a large piece of plywood replacing the door that used to be there a decade ago. Jay walked in, and he can hear Kevin in the back room, "Come in," stepping through trash, needles, used condom, the smell of dry mold in the air. He covered half his face with his shirt. Kevin pops out of the shadows from the corner of the room, damn near scaring Jay half to death. He couldn't believe this boy was nearly his age, looking 10 years older.
"I ain't know you still in the mix, chump. What's your poison? You look like a Purple Haze kind of guy."
"Nah, man, I'm gonna cop the bud when we touch down. I can't take that on the plane. I'm taking a little trip tomorrow, so let me get a few 30s.
Ha! Boy, which one, the Haze or the mid-grade?
Bro, how much for the oxy? Stop playing so I can get the fuck up out of here, man. Open a window or something."
Oh, so you dead serious? What made you step over to the dark side, chump?
Dark side? Man, I ain't no damn green bean, chump. Now how much? Kevin's standing there, holding his Ziploc bag of smaller bags with varieties of opiates in it. Now he's understanding now that Jay is actually serious about it, and he tried talking him out of it.
My bad. No, for real though. This ain't the mood though, bro. I mean, if it's down as you want, I got some Lorries, some Hydros. Same feeling. Just pack a lighter punch.
Bro, I came for 30s. If you ain't got it, just say that. I can find them shits down the block. Matter of fact, I see him right there in the bag. What you on, bruh? And Jay was right. Those were 30s that he saw. But Kevin said that they were Adderall that looked like 30s. Kevin knew Jay and the rest of the guys very well, so he was hella surprised at him asking for 30s, let alone any type of opiates at all. Watching Jay stand there, it reminded him of the green, sober mind that he used to have back in high school, and he would do anything to get that person back. He tried his hardest to detour him away from it, so he lied to try and save him from the life of hell that he currently currently reside in.
You gonna have to. You're right. I'm all out. You know how it be though. Cop a few dros. I'm trying to get me something to eat for me and my lady over there.
A little irritated, Jay bought 5 hydros from him and made his way. Moments after leaving, Kevin ends up breaking down crying in the middle of the floor, throwing any and everything close to him at the walls. Kevin then gathered whatever he could carry and started sprinting towards a wooden door. His girlfriend, who was basically the female carbon copy of him, asked him where was he going, and without any response, Kevin was gone. Jay wasn't that far down the sidewalk, so he heard the loud piece of plywood flinging off the porch as Kevin kicked through it, running the opposite way down the street. He stared at him for a minute, grabbed the hydros out his pocket thinking maybe he finessed him or something with some fakes, but he doubted it, telling himself he's always been the go-to man for anything drug related. Fresh, having 4 outfits laid out on the bed with Kendrick Lamar blasting from the Bluetooth speaker, his mom banging on the wall next to him like she did a million times before, telling him to cut it down. She then walks in asking him why is he taking a trip all of a sudden. In his mind, he's just saying he just want to be somewhere different for a few days. He needed to see something different, be around different people, but also wanting to keep his mother from stressing herself out. Because of losing his dad and both his brothers to the Badlands, one of his worst fears is to die here in Philly, like he's seen countless others that look just like him. So he lied to her, saying it was for a basketball recruitment program, which no such thing existed. She gave him a peck on the cheek, reminding him to keep that Narcan close by. Now he hated when she told him that, because his oldest brother died of an OD 2 years back, and she would always say if they had something close by, he might still be alive. Nobody else in the house is thinking to carry it because drug use wasn't a part of their lifestyle. His mom carried a bag full of them every day now, actually saving 2 random strangers on the street because of it. Fresh knew it was a smart thing to do, but all it did was just scrape up so many painful memories of his big bro being gone. He threw it in his bag in front of her just to satisfy her for the moment, planning to take it back out when she leaves the room. Now he would end up getting a call from Nicole, asking him could she wear his red and white Jordans for the weekend and saying she's outside already. Fresh comes out 5 minutes later, jumping in the car with Nicole, passing her a box of shoes. Same condition, Nikki.
Copy that, my guy.
They then make their way over to Bleak's apartment, which was the only one with his own place, because they all planned to ride in Bleak's truck. Almost 30 minutes late, here comes Jay, getting dropped off, everybody making remarks about Jay always being late. Jay jumped in the truck knowing like he could read their minds. Yeah, I know you motherfuckers know I'm late, yeah, whatever. Bleak joking, saying don't catch another charge while we out here, dog.
It's Vegas, bro. Anything can happen. Because what happens in Vegas stays in Vegas.
Everybody having a good laugh, they pull away from Bleak's place, and while on the highway, Fresh, he noticed that they just crossed the border, leaving Philly completely. Feeling like a wave came over him, he almost shed tears on the way to the airport, because those feelings would be everything but sad. He felt like he could spend the weekend just knowing he wasn't at home in Philly and still have a great time. They finally pull up to the airport, and this being everyone's first time on a plane, aside from Bleak, there was a good amount of butterflies getting out the truck, rolling their luggage into the terminal. Jay said to watch his bags as he went into the bathroom. He takes a little while, so Fresh went in to get him, and upon opening the door, Jay was startled, had his back to the door, looking as if he was hiding something in his pants. Hell you doing? What you got going on?
Yeah, I'm coming, bro. I'm coming.
Yo, you good, bro?
I'm good, bro. I'm good.
Jay got himself together and walked out with Fresh. Fresh asked was he okay, and that he's been acting a little weird ever since he got dropped off. But Jay denied being not okay and told Fresh to lighten up.
You not in Philly right now, bro. Leave all that shit at home.
Making Fresh laugh, they join back up with Bleak and Nicole. Making it through TSA without any hiccups, they get settled on the plane just in time. After liftoff and they were able to roam around the plane, Jay tapped Fresh to tell him he's about to go back to the bathroom. So anxious to get this bag of pills that's taped under his nutsack, he mistakenly ripped the bag while peeling the tape off. Watching his hydros roll all around the bathroom floor, he picking them up and he can hear knocks at the door and a female's voice asking was he done. He started to rush, throwing 2 of them in his mouth, pocketing the rest. Surprised to see Nicole waiting on the other side, she accused him of playing with his little mans. Nicole walked in and saw the hydro as soon as she sat down to pee. Picking up the pill, she now know what sound she heard while she was waiting for Jay to come out. She only experimented once at a party, saying it felt too good, which scared her into not trying it again. With all the zombified examples living just a few feet away from her front door. But she thought about Vegas and living it up for the weekend, and she took a chance on that good feeling for the second time. Laughing on his way back to his seat, he saw Fresh writing inside his notepad and asked him what was he doing. I ain't doing nothing, bro, just writing down some goals and shit.
Come on, man. Leave home at home and relax, bro. What happens in Vegas
stays in Vegas.
Right, my boy, right.
Jay, seeing how Fresh disregarded his statement, he goes inside his pocket to take out the dros and taps Fresh on the shoulder.
See, bro? This how you really relax. Put some feel good in your system for a change, man.
Fresh looking at Jay like a menace because he know how he felt about drugs. Pills specifically. Jay catching the message, he put them back in his pocket and apologized, saying he forgot and it won't happen again. Fresh then asked him why the hell did he have those anyway.
Alright, bro. I respect the fact that this ain't your cup of tea and all, but don't criticize me for my choices. Grown choices, I might add.
Fresh just looked at Jay, shaking his head, and went back to writing down some of his goals. They finally make it to Vegas, and everybody getting their things together. They getting off the plane. He looks over at Jay. He's still asleep, having dozed off for the 5th, 6th time. Fresh tapped him awake. Hey, bro. Hey, we here, bro. Jay wakes up. He couldn't believe that he damn near slept through the whole flight, saying to himself that the hydros weren't that bad at all. They all pitched in on a rental and booked a hotel for the weekend. But before going out that night, they all took a power nap until later on. By 9 p.m., Fresh wakes up, saying that Nicole was still asleep, so he assumed Bleak and Jay would sleep also. Because Nicole was closest to Fresh, they agreed to share a room rather than her having a room to herself, making one of the guys have to take the couch for the whole weekend. After Fresh took a shower, he saw that Nicole was preparing to take one herself, not knowing Fresh was standing there. She half nakedly walked over to the bathroom like Fresh wasn't even there. Fresh never saw her as a potential girlfriend, no matter how fine she was. Then Jay's words replayed in his mind about being in Vegas, so he shot his shot. Nicole waited until they were actually off the plane at the room before she took her pill. So the fact that Fresh was turning her on made her think it was just the hydro and not her childhood friend trying to get on her drawers. She pushed past him, closing the door in his face. Fresh thinking she feels the same for him, he's smiling, taking out his outfit to get dressed. He then gets a text from Bleak, asking was Jay in the room with him and Nicole. Before he could reply, he heard knocks at the door. He replied back, now he is. And Jay walks inside. Hey, yo, Nikki in the shower, bro, so hey, make it quick before she jump out.
Oh, my bad. I ain't know y'all was fucking. I just came by to see if y'all was up yet so we can turn up for the night. But I see y'all got a head start, huh?
Boy, what you want, man? And where you been? Bleak just asked where you was.
Okay, mom and dad. But nah, I was wondering if y'all was trying to ride out, try to find some bud, man.
Fresh didn't too much care for weed either, but he thought it was harmless. He would smoke himself sometimes too, depending on the occasion. He tells him it's cool, but to talk to Bleak since he's the designated driver. Knowing Nicole would be down for it, being a weed smoker herself, he didn't even bother to ask. An hour later, after the whole gang got fresh, ready to go out, the guys waiting in the hallway while Nicole is still getting dressed.
Look, man, I don't care how much ball a chick can play. She gonna still change her outfit a million times.
While the guy's sitting around laughing, Nicole comes out of the door looking totally different, making Fresh want his longtime friend even more. What happened to the Jays? The guys compliment her and they make their way to the car. While Jay's face is glued in his phone, texting someone, he trails behind, and Nicole saw her chance to ask him about getting some more of those pills from him. He played clueless for a second, asking her who told her he had pills, and she responded with a "really nigga" face expression. So what's up? I pay for them. You dropped one in the bathroom on the plane. And since you were so careless, I thought to take it off your hands.
Alright, you got that. But those joints gone though. You know, I took the last few a while ago. But I do, however, got some of these.
Holding up a handful of dark blue 30s with the letter M on one side of it, Nicole's scared all over again, but this time because of the dose. She's never taken anything over 10 milligrams at one time. Jay told her to just double half it and take a corner piece at a time. Nicole asked him where did he even get these from, and he told her to mind her business, holding out the palm of his hand waiting for his payment. Hesitation set in for a second, and she could hear Fresh yelling, "Hey yo, come on, man," from the truck. So before he could see what they were doing, she grabbed the pill, telling Jay that she would cash app him on the way there. While in the back seat with Jay, she does as he told her and double half the 30 and took a corner of it. It took them at least 15 minutes before they got to the casino because of the traffic, and by the time they were actually inside, Nicole started to feel the effects of the drug. Jay himself, he already took his dose about a half hour before she did, so he started to feel the effects on the way there. 30 minutes in, sitting down at the blackjack table, Nicole felt weird. She felt good, but weird at the same time. She went to the bathroom and found herself kneeling on the bathroom floor, throwing up in the toilet. Took her phone out and she texts Fresh. She asks Fresh, could he take her back to the hotel? He gathers up everybody else to let them know, only spending 45 minutes tops at the casino. Everybody was a little irritated, feeling like they wasted all this time just to go back to the hotel for the night. While Jay himself still in positive spirits,
Let's just have a party back at the room, bro. Look, courtesy of the casino.
he pulled out a liquor bottle from his pack. Fresh noticing it was from the casino, he snapped on his friend. Finally fed up with all his live it up bullshit. How the fuck you even snatched that, bro? You know what? It don't even matter. You tweaked the fuck out, yo. Now if your dumb ass would've got caught and you end up spending the whole weekend locked up for some shit you could've just paid for, you gonna be calling us to bond your stupid ass out.
Yo, who the fuck you talking to, choir boy?
In the midst of them arguing, Bleak tried to calm them down, and Nicole ends up puking again, all over Jay in the back seat. Fresh called it karma, laughing while Jay starts to snap on Nicole himself. By this time, they're pulling back up at the hotel, and Fresh quickly pops out the door, pulls Jay out the back seat, jacking him up on the side of the car. Man, I know you see she's sick, bruh. He lets Jay go, and while slowly staggering away, he tell him ain't nothing wrong with her. She just a lightweight. Watch.
Give about 10 minutes. She gonna be feeling just like me.
What? Fresh looking at Jay, wondering what he's talking about, remembering sitting at the blackjack table, her turning down that drink. I know your whole ass ain't giving her no yerkies, bro. Before he could respond, Nicole jolts up out the car with a smile saying she's fine now and to let it go.
What'd I tell you, Fresh? She good.
She grabs Fresh by the arm, walking him towards the hotel. Fresh glancing down at her face and snatched his arm away, pissing him off because her face expression says it all for him, and storms off to the room. By the time they all get into the room, Fresh is in the bathroom. Jay and Nicole, eyes barely open, slumped over the sofa, asks Bleak, does he have an extra vape?
Yeah, bro, we need a boost, man. We need that boost.
Bleak goes inside his luggage and takes one out, all while asking them what was they on. And Jay pulls out a bag of pills, holding it in the air. Bleak walks over, passing Jay the vape, and while taking the bag, he tell him, hey, this a trade. You keep that, and I'm gonna keep one of these.
Hell yeah, bro. Hell yeah, turn up.
While taking out the rest of her broken pill wrapped in a piece of paper and swallowed the rest of what she had, Bleak about to pop the whole thing, and Jay stops him.
You ain't got no tolerance for this shit, yo. Baby steps, yo. Take a corner, just like I told her.
Bleak responded saying, look at me, bro. I'm 6'2", 210 pounds. I think I'm good. And he takes it down whole with a shot of Douce. Jay then gets up, taking the bag from Bleak, taking one out and putting it on the dresser. Using the bottom of his vape, he crushed it up. He then picks up Fresh's shot glass.
Hey, man, why should we have all the fun, y'all? My boy needs to relax.
He then starts to slide the powder inside his glass. Not seeing her behind him, Nicole blows it the opposite direction from his cup, thinking she saved Fresh from consuming the drug, not knowing Jay had already got half of it inside the glass.
The fuck you doing, bitch?
Nicole snapped back saying, you know why Fresh don't like this shit. What kind of friend is you?
Man, chill out. Ain't none of it get up in there anyway, thanks to you.
Jay crushed up another one and snorts the whole thing himself, and he melts back down on the sofa beside Nicole. Fresh is in the bathroom, trying to pull himself together. Thinking about his brother and his father, he held his notepad in his hand, looking at what he wrote down on the plane, with the first and only goal on the paper being, get out of Philly. Now Fresh, he stayed in there until he finally calmed down, opening the door a half an hour later. Looking around the room, everybody to him looked passed out, sleep. He went to grab his shot glass, noticing the powder on the dresser. He shaked his head at his friend lying on the floor and downed his shot in one gulp. Now, unbeknownst to the rest of the group, Jay runs into a guy in the middle of the terminal. He's telling him he had 30s for sale, but Jay tells him that he can't get them right now because he with his people.
Hey, matter of fact, hey, give me your number, bro, so I can meet up with you later.
While everybody is asleep in the hotel, Jay takes a moment to take the keys to the rental car and calls the guy he met back in the airport. The guy sent him his location, and he's only 3 minutes away at the gas station. When Jay gets there, he sees the same guy standing outside his car, talking on the phone. While Jay is walking up, the guy puts his head inside the driver window, talking to one of his friends, asking him to pass him the bag of 50s. His friend who had the bag responded, "You sure?"
They out of towners. They don't know their way around, and they don't know nobody out here anyway. That's an easy lick.
So all the while Jay thinks he's finally found the 30 milligram Yerkes he's been looking for, he actually ran into a guy who sold him some fake pills for half the price. Now, as you can imagine, Jay jumped on the chance to get him 15 of them to last him through the whole weekend. When Jay saw the bag of pills, he inquired that they looked weird and he never seen these kind before. The guy gave him a bogus excuse.
Man, don't worry about that. That's how they make them out here in Vegas.
And a naive Jay believes the excuse and cash app him the money. Gets back in his car and soon will end up knocking at Nicole and Fresh's door, asking could they stop for weed later. While watching a movie, he could hear gargling noises coming from the room. He stands up and he started to notice that his head felt like it was on fire. And walking over, he accidentally stepped on a bag of pills beside his friend Jay. He picks them up and his heart dropped, noticing the color of the pills matched the powder on the dresser. He turns Jay over and with dead wide eyes, he instantly knew his friend had overdosed. Feeling the effects kick in stronger, his heart beating out his chest, he knew he was on his way to an OD himself. And all he could think about was his mother's words. Make sure you keep that Narcan close by. He ran to the other side of the room, actually remembering he never took the Narcan back out his bag because Nicole ended up calling his phone and gave himself a dose. As he felt himself coming back, he called 911 immediately. After giving them the info, he dragged himself over to Nicole and could still hear the gargling sound, who he now knows was her. And he tried to use the same one he used on himself, but it didn't work. While doing CPR on her, the police and paramedics come through the door, yelling and telling them, over here, she's still alive. Bleak and Jay were DOA. And Nicole, she would make it to the hospital, but an hour later, she was considered brain dead due to how long it's been since she overdosed. Fresh sits in the hospital waiting room feeling guilty, relieved, lucky, numb, all the emotions you can think of. And after going to everybody's funeral, the first thing Fresh did was move out of Philly. The day Fresh was supposed to leave Philly, he's gathering his things, he's packing stuff in the car, and one of his old friends, the guy who he always had a bad vibe about, is walking up the sidewalk towards him. This isn't the same guy he's used to seeing on a daily basis. He's cleaned up. He doesn't look dirty. He doesn't have a smell. His hair is cut. His shirt is even tucked. And he asks Fresh how he doing. How's the guys? What's going on with y'all? Like what y'all about to get into? And with it being so painful to talk about, he didn't want to tell him. They gone, man. All of them.
What you mean they gone?
They OD'd.
What?
Further telling Kevin about the situation with Jay buying some pills off of a person in Vegas. They ended up finding this out by going through Jay's phone records because Fresh didn't know where he got the pills from. The pills that he showed Fresh on the plane was not the same as the pills in the room. So once they investigated where he got it from, the guy who sold it to him would end up getting locked up. Telling Kevin this story just broke him down, and he almost felt like it was his fault. Telling Fresh that maybe if he did sell him those 30s that day, he wouldn't have went to Vegas and bought the ones. And Fresh told him, bro, that ain't your fault. You was being a friend. Even when we all left you alone, you was still being a friend to him, bro. And that's the least anybody could do. I appreciate you for that, bro. They say their goodbyes, and Fresh crosses that border from Philly for the last time. Not being able to move his mom, he vowed to her that he would find a way to bring her with him. She understood, and she told him she just wants him to be happy and to find himself. Fresh would find his way to Virginia and start a whole new life and become a counselor for people seeking help from drug abuse. Before I give y'all my message, I want to personally dedicate this story to one of my subscribers. Fresh, I dedicate this story to you. Salute to you on your journey. Glad you made it out that jam. And to everybody else fighting addiction, the message that I want to leave with y'all today is this. You get so many curveballs thrown at you every single day, man. Things that make it hard to go forward. Things that make you want to give up. It makes you look at yourself like, are you even capable of making it through? What makes you any different from the last person who went through this? And you'll only find that answer on the other side. You can either become another statistic or the birth of a new you. And the same blessing that somebody was for you, you can be that for somebody else. If you got a chance to make it out, don't take that chance for granted. Any of the chances that you may get, But that's all I got. Y'all stay safe. Y'all stay positive. Y'all stay sober. If you ain't moving, you losing. And we out.
Call me, D.
Hustler talk, no comment though, just paper chase. Chasing my dreams, my nightmares ain't got no money. Just a cardboard sign and they existing so bummy. And they want me down with them at the bottom of the barrel.